All right, we're doing Japan. Nationalism around the world. Japan. All right, Japanese society. They developed using a Western model, meaning that again they're kind of copying off of Western imperialism. Western model. When we say that, we mean copying off of like Europe and the United States, things like that. This led to increasing, things go well on this, right? This is the early 1900s, led to increasing prosperity and an industrialized economy. The Japanese economy was controlled at this time by 4 major corporations, which led to growing economic inequality. And so, again, you see this from time to time in history where you have basically corporations or a small segment of society getting all of the wealth. And what ends up happening is people don't particularly love that, right? I said maybe it was more in my government class, but, revolutions don't just happen. It would take a lot for me to like it, like the style of Les Mis. That if you guys seen that play, like join and like fight. My life's fine. I'm not gonna run around just because Elon Musk is a billionaire. I'm doing okay. I just run around overthrowing the government left and right. But if I get really poor and I'm worried about being able to eat, well, maybe I would. So Japanese economy was controlled by 4 major corporations, which led to growing economic inequality. Interestingly, one of the corporations was Mitsubishi, and so which is still around today. At the end of the 1920s, a crash in the U.S. stock market caused. We haven't studied it in this class, but I'm sure you've heard. I hope you've heard. Oh gosh, I hope you've heard of the Great Depression. So there was a stock market crash in the late 1920s, which basically put the whole world into a depression. It was hard to get food. People were unemployed. It was a bad time. It's affected the entire world, including Japan. In particular, city workers. So they go along with this industrialized model, but city workers in Japan were very, very hit by high food costs, food prices. And so many people in Japan blamed the Western-style government in Japan and wanted them to return to traditional Japanese values. So, Japan has a strong culture and a strong heritage, and so many people at this time start getting upset with how things are kind of going under this Western-style, modernized country, and this kind of sparks what we would call a nationalist movement. All right, in Japan, to return to traditional Japanese values. Okay, Japanese nationalists objected to the growing influence of Western ideas and values. It's like, hey, we're Japanese. We don't need to be copying Britain and Germany and stuff. We're good. So the emperor and the prime minister at this time wanted to expand Japan. They wanted to become an empire and create a Japanese empire. So in 1931, they invaded Manchuria. All right, they invaded. This is them. This is our guys. And they invaded Manchuria, this area here, which is a Chinese territory. They did this to get raw materials to make goods in their factories and markets to sell them. All right, this is a theme. All right, we've seen this before with Britain in India. Boo! This. What happens is you need to expand, and so you basically attack places to gain places to sell your stuff and to get the raw materials that you need to make, because obviously on the island of Japan you have limited amounts of, say, forests, limited amounts of, say, oil, limited amounts of all sorts of things where you need to create things to run a factory. So what is one important aspect of this, as we don't have a League of Nations anymore, the League of Nations condemned this invasion. Japan, no. Bad Japan. Bad boy. Bad boy. Bad boy. Japan, no. Get down off the counter, Japan. No. But Japan, like my cats, just stayed on the counter anyways. They didn't do anything, proving that I and the League of Nations are both completely powerless. So the League of Nations condemned the invasion, said, bad boy. And condemned the invasion. 1 second. Oh, and yeah, and demanded, get out of there. Get down from the counter. Get down. No. Don't you knock that bull. Don't you knock that bull off the. Oh. Anyway, Japan refused, showing that the League of Nations was powerless. They're losers. They couldn't do anything. All right. In 1937, well, so now we're getting right after World War II, Japan went to war against China. During this time, the Japanese army killed thousands of innocent Chinese, and this is known as the Nanjing Massacre. They went to war with China, and they really killed a lot of China, like civilians, not people in the army. Like, we're not going to get too far into that. It's bad. Don't read about it. I mean, I don't know. Read about it, but strap in. All right, that's it. Really need to understand that Japan conquered Manchuria for resources and natural resources and markets, that the Great Depression really affected them and sparked a nationalist movement in Japan. And that's what we got.